Hey guys, this is Jason with Seeking Heroes, here to teach you how to play Oathen. This is a simplified rules instruction video series. This first video is going to be how to set up the game so that you are ready to play. The second video is going to be the rules, going through the turn order and how everything works. And then the final video is going to be how to get around some of the bugs that might pop up in your session of Tabletopia. This is actually Tabletopia that you see on your screen here. It is the digital software that we use for all of our playtesting nowadays. It's also the same software that you'll be using if you are playing Oathen for free online as kind of our preview of the game. Now, the very first step of setting up the game is we need to build our arena map. Now, if you're doing a one-on-one match, you're going to be using a 5x5 grid of arena locations. And the locations are these tiles here in the middle. If you're doing more than a one-on-one match, one-on-ones, they're called duels. If you're doing any kind of game mode that involves more than two players, you're actually going to go up to a 6x6 grid of arena locations. But for this video, I'm just giving you all the rules that you need to know for the one-on-one match that you're about to play. Now, in a one-on-one match, we're not going to use treasure locations, so we can set those aside. If you ever want to pick up a stack of tiles, you just click it once until it's highlighted, and that will let you drag that whole stack. If it's not highlighted and you drag, it's just going to grab one of the tiles. You'll also notice that if I move my mouse over a stack while I'm holding on to one of the items that fits in that stack and it highlights, if you let go of your mouse, it'll combine it back together in that one stack. Otherwise, if you just throw it on there, it's still just a single tile sitting on top of a pile of tiles. So back to our arena setup. In a one-on-one match, you are going to use 12 barons. Those are the tiles that are called barons. Let's go ahead and move them up to the top here, and we'll flip them over. If you hover your mouse over something and you hit the F key, that will flip it. So we're going to use 12 barons. We're going to use 5 beneficial tiles. That's these green header tiles. Let's go ahead and right-click and give that a shuffle. We want to make sure that we've got a really nice set of tiles that we don't know anything about them. To take 5, you can actually do this take option. There's options to draw, which will pull them into the bottom of the screen. And there's also options to deal, which will give those tiles to all players. You want to make sure you do take. And we need 5. And that's going to pull them into this bottom section here. Now, you'll notice they're highlighted. That means we can just move this whole group. And we're going to drop them into the stack of tiles that we're building for this map. Next, we also need 5 negative tiles, which are these red ones. We'll give those a shuffle. Let's go ahead and take 5 of those. You'll notice these ones are not highlighted, so the way to highlight is you hold down the left shift key, and that will let you drag, and then you can select multiple objects. So let's go ahead and drop those tiles in. Lastly, we're going to need 3 neutral tiles, and that's the ones that have a white header that are not called barons. So let's flip those over, we'll give those a shuffle, and then we'll take 3. Cool. Now, the rest of these tiles are not going to be used in the rest of the game. So we can click, drag them off to the side, really far away from the play space. In the physical version of the game, we would just put them back in the game box, but digital, we'll just take them off to the side. All right, so we'll give this a shuffle. And let's go ahead and place it in the middle. That way we can easily draw tiles. Now, the way that these tiles are selected is you have one full row of good tiles. Oops. Let's pop that back in there and give that a shuffle again. So one full row of good tiles, one full row of negative tiles, and then you're going to have half the tiles rounded up as barons, and everything else is neutral. So you really don't need to know that information. That's just how you get to however many tiles you need to use for your game. If you're doing a 3-on-3 game or a 6-player free-for-all or anything that involves a 6x6 arena grid, the rule book is actually going to tell you all the numbers that you need to know. So this is kind of useless information. I apologize. But if you go into the rule book, there is you'll see this section here that talks about game modes and rule variants on page 17. If you go down to there, it's going to get into some of the game modes and stuff that you can play in the game, and that will tell you, specifically here, arena free-for-all mode, 3 to 6 players. These are the tiles that you're going to need. So check out the rule book if you're ever playing in a game mode where you want to know exactly what tiles that you'll need. But for this, we've got the arena set up now. The next step is to figure out who the Arena Master is going to be. You've got two cards up here. One says Combatant, one says Arena Master. Pretty soon they'll have artwork and stuff on them. Right now they're kind of plain. But you'll go ahead and take that pile of cards, flip it over, give it a shuffle, and then you're going to do draw, because you want to draw these cards into everybody's hands. So you're going to do draw one, and it will deal one. Wow, I suck. Deal one, and it will deal those cards into everybody's hands. Right now I don't have an opponent, so they didn't get the card. Let's pretend that, just for the purpose of all the other instruction stuff that I'm going to be doing, let's pretend that they actually got the Combatant card, and I got the Arena Master card. So we're back in my play space here. I just got dealt cards. I'm going to go ahead and lay this down, show that I'm the Arena Master, and then whoever's the Arena Master takes the Arena Master token. There you go. Now, if you ever have something that you want to blow up on your screen so you can't really read it, or you just want to see it, because I've got pretty pictures and stuff in this, you can hover your mouse over the object, and if you hit the space key, it's going to blow it up nice and big on your screen. Okay. Now that Arena Master has been assigned, these cards are not going to be used for the rest of the game, so we'll just put them back in the game box, or in this case, we're just throwing them into our trash pile. Next, we decide what character we want to play. So character deck is right here. It was next to where the Arena Master token was. So you'll take the character deck, drag it all the way to the bottom of the screen until it highlights, and that will pull all those cards into your hand. Now, in the session that you are playing in, you probably only have access to the base 6 characters, what is going to be in Season 1 on Kickstarter. You'll notice that there's some additional characters and stuff here. On Monday nights, we run a playtesting session where you can play any of the characters that are finished in Tabletopia. Altogether, we have 33 characters. In Tabletopia, still slowly expanding it out on a weekly basis. But on Monday nights, if you visit our Facebook page, search for Oathen Playtesting Group on Facebook. If you give that a join and you sign up for any of the events, you'll have access to all of these other characters where you can really kind of expand your game and see what Oathen, or what's on the horizon of Oathen. For right now, for this example, I'm going to go ahead and pick the Assassin. And next, we're going to give this pile back to the opponent. The best way to do that, and it's unfortunate that this is the easiest way to do it in Tabletopia, but you'll drag one card out, then you'll right-click on any of the cards, and you'll do Select All. And it's essentially highlighting all the cards that you have. And then you can just drag them until that single card is highlighted, drop them in, and now you've got the deck of cards. So now you'll pass this. It would go clockwise around the table, switching between teams if you're doing a multiple player game with 3 or more. But for right now, we'll just give it to my opponent, and let's pretend that he played a Berserker. So he wants to go Berserker for the day. These character cards are no longer needed. You can drag them off to the side, and we'll set his Berserker card down next to his cooldown track. Next, you should have health listed in the top left corner of your card, inside a heart. So your health are these little token things here. The Assassin is a 6 health character, so I'm going to go ahead and remove 3 of these health tokens, and we'll just throw them back in the box. The Berserker is a 7 health character, so let's remove 2 of his tokens, and we'll throw those back in the box. And the very last steps here are that we need to draw everything from our character bags, or what would be the box, all of our cards and everything that we're going to need in order to play. So I am playing the Assassin. I'm going to move my mouse over the Assassin's bag, and I'm going to draw the maximum number. So I'll draw 24, and it pulls it into this bottom play space on your screen. I may reference this as the hand as I'm explaining the game, just because it's in kind of the hand mechanic area of the software. But know that in the actual game itself, in Oathen, your hand are the cards that you select to play for the round. And I'll get into that in the second video. But just in case I mistakenly say the wrong word, this is your skill book. the cards that you have for the round are called your skill book. So after you get done drawing everything out of your bag, and be sure to check your bag too, after you draw everything, hover your mouse over it, make sure it says 0, because sometimes there's still a few items left inside the bag. You want to make sure that you've drawn everything out of that bag so that it reads 0. You have everything that you need to play your character. Go ahead and set down your starting gate. That is the square tile that has your pretty face on it. And set down your miniature, or in the case of Tabletopia, your weirdly colored disc. After that, you have a turn order card here, which I will be going over in the second video. You can set that pretty much right here. You also have a quick character reference card. This is specific to your character, and you can set that down as well. So everything that's left in your hand now should be your ability cards, and it could also be a special token that your character has. So I'm just going to grab one of these stun tokens and I'll pull it in here. So you might have some circles. If you want, you can go ahead and take those out and you can just lay them up above your health. Otherwise, you can keep them inside your skill book area until you need to use those tokens. So the last step here is whoever is the arena master places their starting gate. And then we would go clockwise around the table, everyone placing their starting gate. So in this one-on-one game, I'm just going to go ahead and place my starting gate right up against this middle section. And we'll say that that my opponent, placed theirs straight across from me. We would go clockwise around the table, or in a one-on-one game, it goes across the table, and my opponent is now going to place their starting gate. So that's it for setting up the game. That's everything that you need to do. Go ahead and check out the next video. That's going to go through the rules of how everything works.